Mr. Toastmaster, I need to tell you something about myself. I have 3 disabilities. I'm legally blind, I'm hearing impaired, and I'm a guy. Now, being half blind and half deaf is nothing compared to being a guy. That's a disability. Being a guy, I do like to do guy stuff, but I've never been interested in trying hang gliding or skydiving or bungee jumping. But a couple years ago, my wife gave me this great present, a ticket for a ride on a World War II airplane. Now, I'd be riding it, I wouldn't be flying it. The FAA has some silly regulation that the person flying the plane shouldn't require the services of a guide dog. Now, being a serious warbird buff, there's no way that I could just go out there, get in a plane, and ride like everyone else. Of course not. I had to dress the part, and that meant wearing my favorite Hawaiian warbird shirt, my 8th Air Force ball cap, and the pièce de résistance, my genuine reproduction A2 leather bomber jacket. Never mind that it was going to be 95 degrees out. I had to wear it. JCPenney's. That morning, after a hearty breakfast, we drove out to Gillespie Field. Thank you for letting us use it, Mr. Toastmaster. Every single one of the people waiting their turn for ride were guys. Big surprise. But we were just like kids. We're all excited and doing everything short of running around with our arms out going, meow. And then it was, just kidding. And then it was my turn. I was led out to the plane. She was beautiful. A North American AT-6 Texan, 2-seat trainer built in 1944, gleamed silver in the blazing El Cajon sun. I was in love. In fact, I think I have a picture of one. Oh, it's under the armpit, never mind. And then reality kicked in. The ground crewman, who I'll call Igor, helped me up the port wing and into the front cockpit. The pilot was in the rear cockpit. They had to have noticed my appropriate attire. But they were probably thinking, where did he get that shirt? Igor got me strapped into the harnesses. And then he said, when you get into the air, the pilot will tell you to raise the landing gear. Roger, I said, trying to sound as if I knew what I was doing, which I didn't, and not sound like a complete dork, which I did. He showed me how to raise the gear, and then he asked me, you can see light, can't you? Roger. I said, okay, well, when the gear comes up, you'll see 2 yellow lights in the middle of the instrument panel. I said, what instrument panel? Then he told me about the parachute. Now, you recall I said I've never been interested in trying skydiving, not even as a sport. This wasn't a sport. This was life or death. He said, and I quote, in the event that the pilot declares an in-flight emergency and he can't make the field, you will do the following things. All I heard was, do the following things. Plural. I'm sorry, but in a situation like that, my to-do list is going to be pretty short. Item 1, panic. That's it. But now, I'd be expected to remember to perform several complex tasks after the pilot has given up. The plane is presumably pointed straight down, and the last thing I'm going to hear from the rear cockpit will be, no refund, Geronimo! But Igor, not noticing my sudden alarm, began. He said, first, slide the canopy back as far as it will go. At that point, I'd be blasted by 150 mile an hour wind, maybe even an engine fire. Igor totally failed to mention this minor point. Then he continued. He said, undo the safety harness. Don't undo the parachute harness. Well, duh! He said, stand up and step out onto the starboard wing. At that moment, I thought, wait a second. Didn't Amelia Earhart disappear over El Cajon? It gets better. He said, grip the D-ring of your parachute. Let yourself fall off the trailing edge of the wing. Try not to hit the tail. Then pull the D-ring straight out. Okay, I said. And then what? He clapped me on the shoulder and said, have a nice flight. It took about 3 seconds before I got at what was nagging at the back of my head. I said, wait a second. That's it? Have a nice flight? Nothing else? No instructions on how to avoid becoming roadkill on Highway 67? No instructions on how not to fall into Lakeside Reservoir? Don't you want your parachute back? Or is that my consolation prize? You mean to tell me that the moment I bail out of your doomed airplane, you're no longer responsible for the butt I was dumb enough to put in your care? I don't know about you, but I really hate it when I ask somebody a serious and important question and all I get back is the patronizing and then it hit me. They made a deal with my wife. Makes perfect sense. She gets the life insurance. They get a brand new airplane. I get to be vacuumed up with a dustbuster. Actually, it worked out really well. The pilot gave me a great ride. I didn't even have to bail out. And he even threw in some loops and barrel rolls and Immelmans. What did I throw in? My breakfast. After the flight, while they were cleaning out the airplane, he suggested if I ever wanted to fly with him again, that I should first get rid of this shirt. He said it made him want to throw up. And second, have peanut butter and bananas for breakfast. I said, well, that's done on my stomach? He said, no, but it does taste the same coming up as it did going down. By the way, here's a picture of me in the plane. Well, I think it is. It might be a picture of me on the beach with a hot blonde in a bikini. It doesn't really matter, though, because either way, I know I'm smiling. After all, I'm a guy. Mr. Toastmaster.